And here we are, back on a Friday night. Reapers Underground in full effect to kick off your weekend. The Big Bad Devil Daddy is bringing you a fantastic new metal band that is going to be on the upcoming Morgrot Presents Just Another Fucking Metal Show. Stacked Up Bill, and what a bill it is. And we're definitely happy to have them here with us tonight. But before we get into this fun stuff here, we're going to take a quick commercial break to our brothers at Villain Arts Tattoos. Check it out. That's right. You know what to do. It's Villain Arts, the largest tattoo convention in America and everywhere. There is no one larger. So if they come to your city and coming next weekend, and I was just informed that I will be able to make this one as well. So you'll be able to catch me, Reaper, over at the Villain Arts Tattoo Convention in Chicago. Are you ready for him to come back? Yes, you are. Come hang out with me and get some signed shit. We'll have a good time and definitely get yourself a high quality tattoo. So let's get down to it. We are here with Grand Inquisitor. We got Vivi and Jason, the drummer and vocalist. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great.
That's very good.
So I had definitely went and listened to the track, the Stygian Tomb. Hopefully I said that correctly.
You did.
All right. And instantly I was like, did I just hear Rob Halford and Bruce Dickinson? Those were the first two vocalists that came to my mind. And I was like, this is awesome. Especially when you open up with a, 2-4 triplet feel with double kick. I'm thinking, all right, I got some King Diamond going on here, which is definitely in my wheelhouse. So I was like, I'm excited. This is fantastic. So tell me how this got started for you guys.
Well, you pretty well nailed probably the top 3 out of 5 influences for us there.
I'm pretty good at that.
Of that song. But I've played in some thrash bands and some, bands that have kind of been adjacent to traditional metal, some melodic death metal, some things like that over the years. But I really haven't been able to find a project with a clean singer, someone who, is purely a clean singer until we found Vivi. I've worked with a couple of guys, but it didn't really get off the launch pad. But this is the first band that we've actually been able to go out and gig pretty consistently.
Right on. I myself did a professional residency in death metal for like 22 years, and I am very happy doing the doom metal thing now where there's clean vocals. So I totally get that. It's kind of nice to have either a mix of the two or just melodic in general. So,
Right.
what led you to Vivi being the vocalist for this group?
Well, Vivi and I met through a music chat group. And
How it
we,
happens these days.
right. And so we had initially started talking with the idea of forming another project, but that didn't pan out. So when Jay, our guitar player, approached me about doing this band, and his interest in doing this style of music, Vivi was the first and obvious choice. So we had stayed in touch, and we were able to bring her in for Grand Inquisitor.
Nice. Did you send Jason any like vocal little vocal tracks that you've done yourself or any of your previous work?
Oh yes, I had something there. Even as no, as the more funniest was when audio. I was doing a messenger, just with the audio from messenger and singing right there. And one friend from Italy, he not at least one karaoke something like that. So
Right.
how but that you send that they like it.
Yeah,
And did you all know? Are you all in the same state or separate?
yeah, we're in Arkansas.
Okay. So yeah, it's kind of cool that we have that kind of technology today to go. Oh, you want an example? Here, bam.
Right.
You just sing it into the phone. So I'm sure that was probably like, whoa, this is the person. This is the one we
Yeah.
need. This is what we
She
want.
she sent me a couple of Iron Maiden songs. She
Mm,
sent me a couple of Spanish bands that she's into, singing in Spanish.
Oh yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Oh no, I've heard some well, especially doom metal. Being in the doom metal scene the last 5 years, I've heard some amazing Spanish doom metal bands. So I'm not surprised that it gets heavier as it goes. So that's really cool. Um, so how did the writing process start?
Right there. You have there the guy.
Well, Jay, our guitar player, is a prolific riff writer, and he has a stack of material that he showed us, and so we'll kind of take an idea that he's come up with and start working that. I'll start laying some lyrics out to the basic track, and there's always a fine tuning process. Once I get the kind of the lyrics and the basic melody down, I'll send that over to Vivi, and she'll start working her magic. Putting as she likes to say, putting her decorations on it,
Yeah.
all the variations and changes in pitch. And of course, I can't
always,
sing
always,
worth a flip.
always I mess with his lyrics. It's too much. Like, okay, he put over there, but later I will destroy everything, right?
Yeah, we usually have to make some changes and fine tune it so that it matches her voice and smooth it out a little bit. But she's really good at being able to interpret my idea
Thank you.
Mhm.
in a way that makes sense, because I can't sing, and so I kind of carry a tune and give her the basic idea of what I'm hearing, but she's able to take that and just turn it into something special.
Wow.
Nice. I have that same thing going on. For all my previous bands, I'm the drummer, but I also do most of the lyric writing because somebody just doesn't want to do it, or I don't know, that it happens. So it's like talking to myself. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, that's really cool. Having a guitarist that is just a riff machine totally helps the whole thing. I know my process is always me and the guitar player, we get together. The bassist, of course, can be there. There's nothing against the bass player, but generally, when you get a good well-written song, it starts with drums and guitar. And like
Right.
once you solidify parts, it's like everybody can start putting their individual stuff on it. So
Right.
is that kind of how you do it then?
Right. That's the basic building blocks, and I certainly don't want to discount RJ's contribution, our bass
Oh
player.
no,
When
not at
he
all.
hears it, he kind of puts a different little melodic spin on it. Some really unique bass lines that is certainly not necessarily what I would have heard when we started writing the track, but it just works so well and just accompanies the guitar very well, but at the same time is real locked in with the drums.
So he's kind of like a geezer butler.
Kind of.
You are so lucky to have that instead of the typical bass player that just plays rhythm, hits the notes, nothing fancy, no fills, that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. And it definitely stands out. And before I get to my next point, good evening to every addict out in the comment section. What's up, Cody? Your biggest fan, Babylon Sun, says, "Oh, hell yeah." And one of my all-time viewers there, Kyler, "What's up, brother?" And as a matter of fact, we got your first question. How did she get into this type of singing? The world needs more female metal singers.
Is the question for me or for him?
That's for you. Baby.
It's for you. Basically, what led you to this type of singing for metal?
Oh, that's just because I think since I was a kid, I started liking bands like that, and I like it how the way they do. And actually, I thinking like, okay, when I grow, I want to be in a band. I want to be part of that. And I was, preparing myself always because I was feeling on my side one day I would have a band. And actually, I had a band in Mexico before. So I started growing more and just continue doing more, learning more from that kind of singers in the old school. And yeah, again, it's started to have more women here in the middle, and I like it because this is what we need, more women.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with that. There needs to be. There's so many damn subgenres in metal. It's like, where's the happy medium? It's either super extreme or super doomy. And then it seems like thrash has just kind of like started to make a resurgence. So that's pretty cool. But you guys kind of transcend a lot of those subgenres in with what you do. So I've seen you categorized as thrash. Someplace I saw like melodic death metal, and then I've seen just good old fashioned heavy metal. So do you kind of consider yourselves to be like a melting pot?
Well, yes, that's true. We do blend a lot of different stuff because we listen to a lot of different stuff. I think initially when Jay and I conceptualized this project, we were leaning more towards straight up thrash, but we just couldn't help but bring in those other influences. But prior to Grand Inquisitor, Jay played in a black metal band called Tel Anarath. I don't know if you've heard of them.
There's not enough American black metal bands.
Yeah,
like
they were
more.
really, really good. And then he also did a few years in a doom band called Deadbird.
I love that.
Yeah.
Finally, something that doesn't utilize the word wizard or black.
So
it's the only bad part about doom bands. It's like it's always something like that or an animal. But that's okay.
Well, he really has, a foundation in those different styles and, just influences ringing from all over the place. And so we just kind of naturally started weaving that stuff into and, became really, really unique. And so it is kind of hard to pigeonhole us because we do cross so many boundaries. And I think that's good because we can play shows with just about anyone. From death metal bands to just straight up rock and roll bands.
Yeah, I could definitely see you guys fitting in very easily with a mixed metal group or bill, because, like you said, you definitely are crossing a little bit of each type of crowd is going to like what you do. There's not enough metal bands doing that. I don't know. What I've been kind of noticing lately in the underground is like bands are specifically trying to fit into some kind of a mold. So I'm glad that that was, wasn't something you guys were like trying to do. So, especially with the awesome influences you got. Babylon Sun said, "Oh hell yeah, I used to watch Tel Anarath back in the day." So right on. Um, so after you guys got together, started writing, what was it like doing your first show, like your first official show?
Well, it was amazing. It kind of just came out of nowhere. Some friends of ours up in Springfield, Missouri, have a King Diamond tribute band called Eye of the Witch, and
Wow,
they
I didn't
invited
know
us up.
such a thing existed.
I don't know how many of those that there are out there in the U.S., but it's probably pretty rare, especially
It's
someone
got to be
who can nail it. And this guy is a dead on. Sounds just like King Diamond.
Yes.
the falsetto and everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Wow, I'm really gonna have to check them out. If they're on YouTube, that's like the next thing I'm gonna do after the live tonight. Because I've always wondered, is somebody gonna do that, or is somebody gonna do like a Merciful Fate tribute band?
That would be cool too.
Hell yeah, it's darker, nastier, more supernatural. Nothing against the king, but it's just a little bit more satanic, and that's up my alley. So, right on. So what was the crowd like? How did they, take to you guys when you did the show?
We got a good response, and I think we had a good performance. We really tried to come in as prepared as possible, and played a pretty clean show. And I'd say there was probably 100, 150 people in the crowd, and we got a lot of compliments and a lot of enthusiastic response from that.
Wow,
Is
150 people for a first show. That is stellar. Because I think most bands that like do like as an opener for a first show, you're lucky if you're in front of like 25 to 30 people. So that's killer. Definitely a trial by fire. How was that for you, Vivi?
was awesome. Even when I finished it, the people was just they make me feel very comfortable and confident. Everybody was, at least I got the pictures, the first fans, and everybody else. And this is why we going back to there, precisely for that show. We going to Missouri again. This, this
Right. We're going to go back on. It's this month, March 31st.
March 31st.
We'll be there opening for Reaping Asmodia.
Let's see. I wonder if I actually have that poster because I did grab one of your posters. Is it this one? No, that's April 9th. Okay, we'll bring that up later. Well, that's cool. It's always good to visit a spot that, especially where you like started. And then, did you guys start just basically throughout your state and then go regionally? Because I was reading a little bit there that you guys have like toured a little bit here and there.
Well,
where
we have our
did you go
first
next?
we have our first official tour in April.
Nice.
But yes, we our second show was a local show. It was at the Meteor Guitar Gallery in Bentonville, and then we've played some shows in Fayetteville and Fort Smith since then. But we've played Oklahoma City and a couple other spots out of town as well.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely a little bit more regionally for you.
Right.
Babylon says Arkansas and Missouri have a strong and growing metal scene these days. That is so cool to hear because I'm up here in Nebraska.
Oh, are you?
So I'm not too far away from you guys. Um, so I'm going to have to like start getting down there because number one, Babylon Sun lives there, and me and Human the Hoof Beast want to jam with him. So we'll all have to like come out and support you guys whenever you're playing in state.
Oh.
Would be great.
That'll be awesome.
Talking about tours, also we as invitation from the band Ángeles del Infierno. That means Angel of the Hell from Spain. It's a big band in Spain. He invited us to have a tour in all USA. So we had the invitation over there, and that would later know when we started. Actually, with that, we should be in almost all USA in the year.
We're still hammering that out, but hopefully we can get that pinned down. They're a pretty well known European traditional metal band.
Yes, they was in Mexico for 5 months in the tour. So they prefer to go to over there, Colombia, Venezuela.
Oh, Colombia has a great metal scene. Holy crap. Yeah.
For us, America, and then come back to USA, and that's when they plan to go have something with us.
Awesome. So your guys is like, I was talking a little bit to Jason earlier. So the album isn't completely out yet, or you're still working on it?
We're still working on it. We almost have it done. We very likely could have it totally wrapped up by this weekend. It's in the final mixes. And so then I'll send it off to get it pressed just as soon as I can after that. And hopefully we'll have a release by the end of the month. That's the game plan right now. But we're just finishing up just a few small little touches on it.
Nice. So for everybody out there in the Morgrot universe, this band is completely self-sustaining. They are not signed just yet. So if my information is correct.
That is correct.
I thought so. Okay. So, and they're already doing a tour with hopefully, we'll do an official tour with a pretty damn big band, an international band. So this right here is a testament to what you can do. Everyone, we talk about it all the time, that all these newer bands coming out are just still have that drive to, I got to get signed, and not actually working on themselves, being self-sustaining, promoting. Obviously we have DistroKid these days, so you can get your music out to the masses that way. And then just fucking doing shows, and not just shows in your backyard. You know what I mean? Like when you start going regionally and you pick up a state or two besides your own, you can now kind of like form a circle. What is kind of your aspirations of where you want to go next, like state-wise?
Well, you're right. It's all about networking. You've got
big
to
time
nose to the grindstone and get to know people, send out your material, talk to promoters in different regions, talk to other bands. So that's a big part of it, and that's why we were able to book our own tour for April, which will be in support of our EP. But we just want to keep it growing. I mean, we haven't hit Texas yet, and that's certainly an area that we want to start building our audience. I think that's kind of next on the drawing board for us, is to get down there.
Texas is a hotbed for metal. That entire state, there are so many places that you guys can play and be totally successful, because it's one thing I know about that scene out there. People come out to see live music all the time, probably more than any other state that I've been to, that I've toured at. So once you guys get down there, I bet you they'll eat you alive. for sure. Couple things. Let's see here. Cody says the venue, I'm assuming for Just a Fucking Metal Show is gonna be at, isn't very big. It's gonna be very personal. It's gonna be a very personal show for fans. Okay, got it. So you're definitely gonna be with your crowd. Now that was one of the things I was gonna say. Do you guys do you prefer the closeness of the crowd or that barrier between you and the first row?
Well, as a drummer, I want to see the crowd. You're already kind of isolated, up there on the drum riser and everything. So, like, if I can see how the audience is reacting and I know that they're enjoying it, it psychs me up and I play better.
I concur on that. The more I can feel the energy from the crowd that I'm playing to, it makes it all that much better. Speaking of drumming, so Babylon asks, Jason, who are a few of your favorite drummers?
That's a long list.
Mickey D better be one of them.
Mickey D is certainly, especially his time with the Diamond. Nico McBrain, obviously.
Oh yeah.
I like Sid Falk. He was the Overkill's drummer for many, many years. The list goes on and on.
Definitely a great bunch. Mine are very varied. It's all over the place. I think for like every sub genre of metal, I have a drummer that's like totally influenced me.
Exactly.
Like one of my biggest favorites is Nicholas Barker, who was Cradle of Filth's original drummer,
right?
Who went on to Dimmu Borgir. So for like black metal, that was tops for me. But I mean, when I started wanting to be a drummer and want to make this a career, Bill Ward of Black Sabbath.
Yeah. Definitely.
First time I heard Iron Man, I said, I want to do that. So, which vocalist, Vivi, was the one that made you just want to jump into this madness we have called metal?
Well, I like Dio.
Yes! I am so happy to hear that. That's awesome. Ronnie James Dio.
Plenty singers, for English mastering singers or everybody else, but I had too much respect for Dio. And I like him. Yes. And that make me always think like, okay, I want to be like him.
And there's like such depth to your voice. I don't even know how to categorize it. So are you mostly like a tenor, or how would you categorize your voice? It has a lot of weight to it, if that makes sense.
I can explain it. It's just that make me feel like the songs they show me, they got me different feelings. And I would just try to figure out in my mind how the sound is telling me and how I need to act it, how I need to do it, how I need to handle it, how I need to do it, to sing. It's like I cannot find the definition, but the feeling that they make me feel like this is what I can do. So some moments has good throws, some moments has like a high voices, or
right.
I feel it.
I mean, you definitely have a great range. I guess how I would actually put it would be like soulful, that you don't really get with a lot of vocalists that do clean work. Especially as a female artist. So it's very refreshing. It kind of reminds me of Doro Pesch. I don't know if you're familiar with Doro.
Yeah, I was going to say, even some people, they told me even in Oklahoma or something, but some people, so they told me Dio. Somebody told me, Iron Maiden. Somebody told me King Diamond.
I mean, there's no better compliment than that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it's great, Yeah.
It is. I mean, I've been compared to so many damn different drummers. It's not even funny. So as an actor, because I do indie acting in horror films, a lot of people kind of compare me to Sid Haig, who was Captain Spaulding.
I want to
So if you're familiar with House of a Thousand Corpses, she's like, hell yeah, I know that one. Absolutely, it was a fantastic trilogy. So it's like, really? You're going to say that to me? Okay, I'll just take it. I'll internalize it. I'll be like inside, but I'm like outside. Eh. It's always funny, when, people come up to you and say, hey, you remind me a lot of, this person. So it's like, awesome. What was your most memorable show so far?
Well, I have plenty there, but because always we have the lucky maybe to find people that really like metal. I can tell you my first show there, the Missouri. I can also tell you, oh, the last show, Crypta show. Oh, also one more in December in Fabio. This is like we always find people that really follow you, and even they, of course, they don't know the songs, but they try to follow you. Even I was actually using the microphone like that, and even they collaborated with me. Oh, this is like,
Oh, that's awesome.
eh,
So people already like know the words?
no, but I was trying to like, they was trying to do the same thing, and I just put the microphone was actually do it, and I can, oh my,
Right there, King Diamond was showing. Your King
no.
Diamond is showing. Now I see why. That's awesome. As a matter of fact, Babylon Sun says, I hope Black Doomba grabs them. Have you actually reached out to Tommy Stewart?
No, we want to get the EP done, and then we'll start shopping it out a little bit. Um, you know, if we can sign with the label, I mean, we're certainly not against that idea. But the band's been steadily growing as an independent, and I like the trajectory we're on. So we'll see where it takes us.
Well, I can definitely tell you, Tommy Stewart of Black Doomba Records is all about the artist. As you know, he is from Hallows Eve, which was a great, great metal band back in the
Oh, yeah.
80s, actually through the 90s as well. He's more about the artist because he's a musician himself.
Mhm.
And I can definitely say there are a pretty good amount of labels that care more about the artist than they do the dollars. So I understand that too. Like, you have good creative control. You guys are picking up fans everywhere you go. Are you doing a lot social media wise?
Yeah, that's really Vivi's specialty. I do quite a bit myself, but Vivi is a master at it.
this, yeah,
Somebody's got to do it.
it's because I'm very friendly person. Since always I had a lot of friends, and they follow me even from my band from Mexico. Also, here I
That's
make
awesome.
friends, and so I'm very friendly person always. And the people always was one that is have a band again or something, so they was ready for listen. And then also school people from here, they was knowing I was about to sing, and they was telling me, let me know when you started. So yeah, and also, yeah, also Jason is working too much in that, and also my daughter Mildred, she also, thanks her, because she does very good job too.
Oh, yes, we have to give it to our young people because that's all they have time for. They have oodles of time to promote. um, when it came to me and Black Tar Superstar, it was the pandemic that forced us to stay indoors, couldn't do nothing. So it's like, all right, can't do shows. We can practice at home, but What are we going to do otherwise to let people know where we're at? And it was like social media. I swear, I did like 6 to 8 hours a day just doing promotions, sharing people, going live, doing this, doing that, this kind of video, that kind of video. It forced us to really get creative. So that's really good that you have a good, foundation for that, because it is still so important. And as a matter of fact, Babylon, he's so right. The social media part is so dang tough to keep up with. That's because it's always changing. The algorithm changes. You have a million people posting 5, 6 to 8 times a day. And it's like you're trying to get in there too with your followers. Shit gets lost in the feeds, but it seems like you guys are steadily growing, which is really awesome. In my opinion, to have 1,000 followers on your band on Facebook and you don't even have an album out yet is amazeballs.
Yeah, and here's another amazing thing about that. I mean, it had been growing steadily in the last 6 months or so for sure.
Sure.
But after we played the Crypta show, it just exploded.
Oh, you guys played with Crypta.
Yeah, we opened for Crypta on February 14th, and
holy shit.
We had probably within a week or two of that, we had 300 new followers.
Woo! I'll tell you what. I kind of found Crypta through my Canadian connection with Kober from the Stone Deaf Metal Show. It's on Bulldog Radio, and I always thought that they were an amazing band. And from listening to his show for week to week for the last 2 years, they've just been getting bigger and bigger. So for you guys to play with them, you're picking up some of their fans. So tell us a little bit of how that experience was.
Well, it was amazing. It was a good sized crowd.
I bet.
Venue. They were great. They were very, very nice, very gracious.
And was too much interaction with us, and every song we finished it, there was, and yeah.
Oh, they were cheering for you. Nice. It's always amazing when you get paired up with a band that you're almost like, musician wise, you're on the same level with, you know what I mean? So I couldn't think of a better, I couldn't think of a better band for you guys to pair up with. Oh, okay. So Babylon asks, are you guys doing your own recording and mixing?
We have a friend named Jim Smithson who owns a home studio. He calls it Vulture Vomit Studios. He's done some he's done some other bands too, but it's not a professional studio. It's just his home studio, but pretty high end equipment. And he's been doing it a number of years, so we've been working with him on that.
I was going to say the quality that I hear is amazing. I almost kind of, I don't know about you guys. I almost kind of prefer to work with some of these basement studios instead of like the bigger kind, it's like their own building. There's just something about going into that basement because, most bands like us start in a basement and there's such a grit to it. But what I hear with the track, that you guys have up, which is also on Bandcamp, by the way. And I need to pull up this real quick. There we go. Which is where you can find Grand Inquisitor on Facebook. It's so clear. It's punchy. It's solid. The mics must be really good quality because, it's noise gated perfectly. You don't hear any background or anything like that. So I got to say, nothing wrong with doing that. Yeah. I've heard good bands sound like shit in bigger studios, even myself. So
Well, it's really a testament to the amount of time that Jim has put into it, and the careful
Definitely.
ear that he's putting on it. And like I say, he does have some really, really nice equipment.
I guess so, because I mean it's top notch. I love the quality. So what we're going to do real quick is give you a little bit of a sample of Grand Inquisitor. If I can get this, there we go. Sometimes my computer works with me. Sometimes it works against me. We're going to check out a little bit of a live video. All right. There we go. Woo! You have so much energy on stage. It's like, wow. That was incredible. Really, really dug it. My goodness. What is it like carting around that much drums?
That's actually my smaller kit.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
I'm losing my breath just thinking about it.
Yeah, it gets harder as I get older, but
I feel that.
I try to have a rule, and that is if I don't use it, it doesn't stay on the kit.
Right.
So if I'm playing a big kit, everything on that kit's getting used somewhere in the songs. Not necessarily every song, but I will use it for a song somewhere in the set.
I swear I've been saying it for like 30 years now. If you're going to have a huge kit, you better use every bit of it. Because if you don't, it's just for show. Now, I use kind of a stripped down kit myself. I used a kit that size before. I think when we got into the 90s, that's when I switched. It was about 95. So, single kick, one tom up top, two floor, hi-hat, ride, crash, China, two more crashes, a splash. So, because I feel like I can get the whole job done with just those drums. It's like the Buddy Rich mentality. You could make smaller drums sound like bigger drums. But that's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely dig the kit, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Man, there's just so much tastiness in these songs. I love it. So tell us a little bit more about what we can expect on some of the rest of the tunes you got.
Sure. Well, the song that you just played, that clip, was from a song called Altars to the Sky. It's probably our thrashiest song of the ones that we recorded.
Totally was. That's for sure. I was digging it.
And it's a good old song about Aztec sacrifice, human sacrifice.
Oh, now I really love it. These are topics I like.
Yeah. And then
we haven't even got to that part yet, but tell us more.
Sure. And then Stygian Tomb, the song you mentioned earlier, is a little doomier, a little darker. It's about some explorers that go into an ancient Egyptian tomb and awaken some kind of dark presence there. And then we've got a song called Forlorn Hope, which is really more of a classic metal song, kind of your Judas Priest style, except in the vein of those bands. It's about, I don't know if you've heard the term Forlorn Hope before, but these were
I
soldiers who
have.
were basically sacrificed in the initial charge in a siege. So it's about being, picked or volunteered to be a part of that. And then we got a song called what's the other one, Vivi?
What?
The last song, It Came from the Deep.
The
That's
cancer.
it. Yeah. Having trouble remember which ones we recorded because we've got probably 10 or 12 more that we haven't even laid tracks on yet. But anyway, It Came from the Deep is about the lone survivor of a sea monster attack.
Oh man,
Oh,
it
so
just gets better and better. I love the, there's a lot of death, a lot of apocalyptica, if you will. Does any of your stuff go occult at all?
A little bit. We've got a song called "Child of the Dark," which is about a satanic sex cult.
Why does everybody think we have those?
Because it's
Okay.
fun.
It must be. That just kind of reminds me of one of the Osbournes podcasts. They were talking about all these like secret satanic cults, sex cults in Hollywood. I'm sitting here going, really? Because the rest of us don't know shit about it.
I've never been invited to a party.
Exactly. It's like, well, you might as well let us know. See if we can make it. All right, so tell us a little bit about that. I'm super intrigued now. I'm sure my viewers out there are very intrigued as well.
Well, I was just kicking around.
I was, excuse me,
Go
I
ahead, Vivi.
have a song in Conquer also with this like a trash also. Remember?
Okay. Well, she was talking about a song called "Unconquered," which is sort of a song about self-empowerment.
Hell
And
yeah,
that is
absolutely.
our probably our thrashiest song, very Slayer influenced song.
Slayer, did you say?
Yeah, a lot of fast double bass,
Nice. Little Dave Lombardo channeling.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, how do you kind of like pick the themes of your lyrics?
Just whatever kind of inspires me. I have some scratch lyrics that I work off of, but
Mm-hmm.
until I actually hear a song, I hear the riffs and kind of feel the flow of the song and catch the mood of what it's trying to say. That's when I really kind of start shaping what it's going to be about. I don't want to try to force lyrics onto a song just because I have lyrics. So it's got to fit the mood and the tonalities of the song, and obviously it's got to fit rhythmically and all of that. But I'll write about occult topics or supernatural topics, but I also write a lot about history and philosophy.
Yeah, I was definitely kind of picking up on that, even with the Stygian tomb. So does because obviously here at Reapers Underground we're all about the horror as well. Do you draw any inspiration from like horror films? Anything like that, or do you get some of your occult topics from like some reading that you do?
Probably more reading, Lovecraft. I read all the old Conan stuff when I was a kid.
Nice.
And
Can't beat Conan.
Yeah. So, yeah, usually I would say most of the time it's going to be based on something I read.
Nice. See, there's not enough of that. I feel like everyone is drawing inspiration from what they see versus what they are reading. I don't know. A lot of people are like really kind of focused on, doomsday, all that type of shit. So it's kind of refreshing to hear that you're getting a lot of the inspiration for your lyrics from reading. What would be like some of the books?
Well, Forlorn Hope probably was inspired by Bernard Cornwell's Sharp series. In particular, a book called Sharp Siege. And I love the old Frank Herbert Dune series. I'll probably write something about that at some point.
You could write endless songs about any of those, to be perfectly honest. It's so desolate, and oh man, trying to like put yourself in that headspace of what if you were there? Could you survive this? you know? So as far as like supernatural occult stuff, where does that come from?
That probably comes more from the King Diamond influence or bands like that. It's always fascinated me. I'm an atheist, and I don't believe in anything supernatural. So it's kind of like it's fun for me to talk about it. It's kind of tongue in cheek. It's not something that I believe in with any sincerity. It's just an interesting, funny thing to write about.
Well, movies and television, they've always kind of sensationalized it, right?
Yeah.
Well, for everyone that always tunes into my shows, Satanism at its root is an actually atheist belief. It's
Right.
more of a philosophy. So I kind of get that. It's kind of fun when you get into that headspace of fantasy versus reality. Hollywood's given us plenty of it, right? And to a degree, I think secretly some of us were like, we wish vampires, werewolves, and demons existed and all that stuff, but it's all folly. Unless you see it in front of you, come on. So, how do you feel about singing these, thematic things, Vivi?
Yeah, I am very excited. Every time he showed me the lyrics, even I said, okay, too much. Sometimes it's too much compromise. Especially for my accent. I know I have accent, and then but I started, feeling like the history in my mind and figure out what I would do it, and like, oh yes, and it's always I'm very enthusiastic person. I have too much energies to do the stuff, and sometimes when I'm driving is when the ideas come in my mind, and I just listen to the song again and listen, and I started, to create everything in my mind that I would do it and start thinking something and do it again, and yeah, that's what I.
Absolutely. I mean, you can tell just from that little bit that we played earlier, you can get a really good feel for the riffing there. History is like one of those best topics, I think. I think a lot of bands are probably about 25 years ago, I'd say bands were still kind of like writing about history because it's so exciting to find out so many different things that have been going on for like hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years even. Today, everyone's just like, this is what I'm going through. Can you connect with me through what I'm going through? So it's such a breath of fresh air that you guys are kind of, going back to those roots and bringing out new stories for people to hear. Because I think that's almost more exciting than real life. So you're connecting to a lot of fans that are a little bit deeper thinkers. They enjoy the kind of the same things that you do. So that's really cool. So how did Just Another Fucking Metal Show by Morgrot Presents come up in your current tour?
Well, the whole tour kind of started, the kernel of that started when we got an invitation to play a festival down in Florida.
Nice.
And I still to this day don't know how they heard of us or how they came across us. But they
didn't tell you?
No, I need to have that conversation. But they were looking for female fronted bands, so
Awesome.
anyway, they made the connection somehow. So they invited us down to play. And when I approached the band about that offer, I said, we can go down to Florida, but it's quite a drive. We need to make some stops at some other places. So we started kind of building the tour around that. And then
you have to.
And then John came to us with the offer for this show in Memphis, really right at the right moment. Because it kind of made the circuit.
John's
complete.
Good for that.
Yeah. So, when the Memphis thing fell into place, it was like, okay, now this makes sense. We go down to Florida, hit a couple of stops on the way, back through Memphis, hit another couple of stops on the way, and we've got a tour.
Hell yeah. One band comes to mind that I think you guys would really hit it off with, and they're actually from the West Coast, is a band called Sensation. That's another female-fronted band. They're more on the gothic vampire metal side, so they do the whole shtick. It's really good, but I think you two would definitely mesh well together. So if you had aspirations of going west, I think that would really, really do well for you. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell them about you guys too, because I do a lot of promotions for them. It would be so cool.
Yeah. Right. We would love to make that connection.
Hell yeah, definitely. Cody says, Ken Kelly's art for Conan was amazing.
For sure.
I have to agree with that. So how do you feel the art from that to the movies of Conan?
Well, of course, I saw the movies before I read the books when I was a kid, and I loved them, and then when I got a little older and, I wanted to kind of go back and see what the original was all about. And
kind of get the, where it all came from.
Right.
A lot of people don't do that. It's like Stephen King. Everybody sees the movie, but did they read the book? It's like some of the most diehard fans started by reading the books and then seeing the film. So it's really cool that you did that. It had everything. So many supernatural elements, fantasy, snake cults, you name it. He had a wizard, Asian wizard that would travel with him. Was, in my opinion, his protector, to be quite honest. It was just an amazing world. So it's so cool that you guys are incorporating all these elements into what you do. So it is shameless plug time. Let everybody out there in the Morgrot universe know where to find you, where to find your music, where can they get merch.
Well, of course, our Facebook is Grand Inquisitor Official, all one word, and our Instagram is also Grand Inquisitor Official.
Best way to do it.
Yeah. Now we have a little bit of a variation here with our Twitter. It's at @GR_Inquisitor, just because Grand Inquisitor was taken there. So unfortunately, we didn't get the full handle. So those are probably the three top ways to reach us. We have a YouTube channel, also Grand Inquisitor Official, and a topic page if you want to check out some clips and listen to the song we have posted so far. We'll have some more material uploaded soon. Just as soon as we get the album done, I'm going to start putting up the other tracks. And then we have a couple of T-shirts. We have patches. We have pins. You can find PayPal links on our Facebook. And of course, we have everything at our shows if you want to come out and see us.
Nice. So there you have it, Morgrot Universe. so many ways. You know what to do. You know where to go. You put it in there, you're going to find them. And you need to do that. So that was actually one question I had last for you. How did you come upon the name Grand Inquisitor?
Well, in a previous band, I had written a set of lyrics called Grand Inquisitor,
I knew it.
and yeah, and so
It's so awesome.
yeah, so we had kicked around a bunch of different ideas for names, and nothing had quite landed. And I was going through some old set of lyrics, and I found that, and I was like, you know what? I've been sitting on top of it the entire time, and so I came to the band and I said, here you go. This is what we should call our band. And it was unanimous. Everybody was like, yep, that's it.
Nice. It's a lot better than trying to go, okay, we're going to put ourselves into this, what is it, metal band named Generator that a lot of people do. I don't know why they do it, but I've seen some funny shit come out of that, but this is like so much stronger. I love it. Interesting. Cody says apparently the writer for the new Crow movie didn't see the original movie or the comics. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. I think it's because we were talking about comic book art and stuff like that. So right on. It's a sore spot with everybody. Trust me. Brandon Lee, all the way. All righty. So it has been an absolute blast hanging out with you guys tonight. Tell us what you got coming up in the future. Where can they see you live next?
Our next show is on March 23rd. It's at the Heathen House in Cord, Arkansas. We're playing with a ton of great bands there.
Yeah.
Witch God is headlining. That's another female-fronted
black band. I love the title.
Yeah, they have a great name. Pantheon from Little Rock, some friends of ours are playing that one. Severe Head Wound. Do you remember who else is on that show, Vivi?
Yeah, I think we got it right. I had another one more, but I don't remember another one.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 other bands on that bill, and I'm sorry if I'm shortchanging them. And then of course we've got the March 31st show in Springfield at Lynchburg's Tavern, I think it's called. We haven't played that venue before, so but anyway, that one's Reaping Asmodia, A View from the Gallows, and Spider Corpse. And then after that, we start our tour. We'll be in Birmingham on April 5th. And from there, we'll be moving on.
That'll be a blast.
Yeah, we're going to Jacksonville, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Myrtle Beach, Charlotte, North Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee, and then Memphis for the fucking metal show.
Alabama.
Where are you playing in Nashville?
A new place called Flavor 90s.
Oh, okay.
It's like a cool, like, taco, mixed drink bar. They just opened up in the last couple of months, but they've been booking a bunch of metal shows. So I'm going to drink some tequila and eat some tacos and play some metal.
Yeah.
Margaritaville. That'll be awesome. Because I myself, I played the Sweetwater there. So that's usually where everybody plays. So I'm always like, oh, is there a newer place now that they're, because that city, Nashville, hotbed for great metal shows. It's fantastic. Cannot wait. Right on. Josh says, looking forward to the EP. Hope to see you guys live sometime. Got a lot of love for the Missouri, Arkansas area and all the good music I've been finding from that area. Cheers, Reaper. All right. Awesome. Glad I opened your eyes. Sweet.
Thank you.
Get their stuff. Download the song. However, listen to it. Watch the videos that they got on YouTube. I mean, these guys are fucking awesome. And in my opinion, you guys are carrying a torch that kind of in my opinion, got forgotten about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because, Iron Maiden is still touring, Judas Priest just did their last final album. You're ushering it into a new era and doing it, I don't know, in like a much better way. I love it because of all the different flavors that you're putting into it. So, I mean, I would love to see you guys open up for King Diamond one day.
Oh,
He ain't about
we
to
would love to
stop.
do that. Yeah.
He's still going. So is Merciful Fate. So that would be a dream show for me to see you two guys together. That would be
I think that would be a
incredible.
dream show for us as well.
Oh my goodness, it would be incredible. It would be even better if I was drumming for them. Anyway, I digress. So it has been an absolute pleasure having you guys on tonight. I cannot wait to see the rest of your journey as you are like very much rising up so good in the underground scene. Can't wait for the EP or the full album. And I will definitely have you guys back on. You let me know
Fantastic.
when that's about to drop. We'll get you back on and we'll promote the fuck out of it because that is what Reapers Underground is all about. The best art, the best music is in the underground, and you guys are doing amazing things. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come on. Best of luck on the Just Another. Such a long title. I'm like, John, why? Just Another fucking metal show. I can't wait to hear about your experience there with all the other great bands on that bill. Margrot Universe, especially in Memphis. You better get your asses there or there's going to be a problem. All right. So, with all the new fans you've made tonight, as well as the ones that have tuned in, to support you, what is your lasting message for them?
Thank you for everybody for joining us. We had a blast doing this, and we just want to keep rolling and meet all you guys in person and get out there and play more shows.
Humble as fuck. You're never going to hear that come out of Slipknot's mouth. You're never going to hear that come out of Metallica's mouth. You're not going to hear that come out of any of the main streamers. So stay underground. Be with us. Let's be a family, the great dysfunctional family that we are, and let's rule the fucking world together. But the most important thing you must always do is stay heavy.